What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing, and we recently had a announcement in boxing that shook up the boxing world. Not only is Terrence Crawford coming back, and we all know Terrence Crawford is coming off his victory over Errol Spence, undisputed. You know, did he win Fighter of the Year? I believe he won Fighter of the Year last year, man. This guy is coming back, and everybody's already excited for that. He's fighting Israel Madrimov, uh, who is a 154 pounder that a lot of people are not familiar with, but he's actually a really good fighter. And this fight is going to be entertaining. It's going to be I'm not going to say competitive. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not going to write off his chances. So that's just big news as in itself. That one of the you can't have Terrence Crawford lower than two, top two, possibly number one pound for pound fighter coming back, main eventing in LA. But then once you see the card that is going to be on this on his undercard, is it excites you, and it brings you this guy Turki Alalshikh, man. This guy Turki Alalshikh is doing some beautiful, beautiful things in boxing that many have wished they could have done. Many have thought about doing. Many have claimed that there wasn't enough money to do. But hey, man, this guy put up together one of the best boxing cards in recent history, to be honest with you. Probably the last one I can remember that was this good was Juan Manuel Marquez versus Juan Diaz 2, the rematch. That one had a pretty good, and it was a really deep undercard. That was back in like, I want to say it was like 2012, 2011 or something like that. But yeah, so the main event, as I mentioned, is Madrimov versus Crawford, or Crawford versus Madrimov, I guess you want. The undercard is Isaac Pitbull Cruz, one of the most exciting fighters in all of boxing currently. Man, I personally don't like how he's conducted himself in terms of his opponent selection, but hey, man, him and his team has found the perfect way to manipulate the sport, make as much money while taking as least amount of risk. And he will be fighting Jose Valenzuela. These are both guys that are really 135 pounders that will be fighting at 140. There's no distinct advantage for either of them. They both fight at the weight class below and are going to be fighting at the weight class above. But they're both offensive fighters, and this has a potential to be fight of the year. Two Mexicans coming at it. Both are power punchers. Both are offensive minded. I can't see this fight being a bad fight. I can't see this fight being not entertaining. And that's the co-main event. Then below that, you got Tim Tszyu versus Virgil Ortiz. Now, Tim Tszyu is coming off a loss, but if you guys remember when he kicked that loss, he was winning the fight. It was like the first 2-3 rounds, I forget. And he got elbowed directly right here in the hairline above, and it was just pouring, gushing blood, and that seemed to change the rhythm of the fight. And so that loss, it wasn't like he's coming off a loss and is like, oh man, he got beat up. It wasn't he got beat up. He lost because, in my opinion, because of that, accidental elbow to the head. And he's going to be fighting Virgil Ortiz. Yes, Virgil Ortiz, the guy with 100% knockout ratio, the guy that we thought with his super fight was going to be against Boots. We all know how good Boots is, and we all think he's going to be a future, superstar in terms of talent wise. And we all thought that about Virgil Ortiz just a few years ago, too. Let's not forget that. And we thought that in the future, this fight will be a super fight. So this kid is good. His record shows it, too. He has a 100% knockout ratio. He has lost a lot of momentum due to the fact that he kept having postponements from, what's his name? Is Stanionis having I believe his a ruptured spleen or his appendix burst. Then he had rhabdomyolysis a couple times. Uh, that has made him lose a lot of momentum. But hey, if he comes back on this card and fights like the Virgil Ortiz we know him to be, this has potential to be fight of the year as well, because Tim Tszyu is an offensive fighter, Virgil's an offensive fighter, and man, how could you not love this fight? This fight to me is the best fight in all of boxing. And shout out to Tim Tszyu, man. Tim Tszyu has done nothing but fight the toughest competition available to him, hasn't ducked no smoke, has tried to fight Jermell Charlo back when he had the WBO, and when he worked his way up to be the mandatory. When that didn't happen, he fought a bunch of guys, fought Mendoza, fought Fundora, fought Ocampo. You know, I don't think the Keith Thurman fight was that competitive, but I don't think that was more on him. And now he's fighting Virgil Ortiz. So shout out to Tim Tszyu for wanting to fight the best. Another fight on this card. This is probably my least favorite fight on the card, to be honest with you. It's Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller. These are two. This is basically two fat guys, man. No disrespect to them. I just don't look at these guys as top, heavyweight contenders. So this is just, I guess, just to throw two names together who could possibly make an entertaining fight. I could see this fight possibly being entertaining. That's something I could see, but not one that the result of the fight interests me. But it's a heavyweight fight, and heavyweights seem to excite people. Another fight on that card is David Morrell. He's facing Hot Rod. And David Morrell is one of the best, just visually, one of the best at 168. He hasn't proved it. He doesn't have the resume, but just what you see him in the ring, you could tell this dude is nasty. He got power punch. He hits so hard. And I've mentioned this story before. I met him in Las Vegas and I shook his hand, and man, it felt like he almost broke it. He was just, his hand grip was so strong. So I know he hit hard. He's fighting Hot Rod. This should be, if Morrell is who they say he is and who I think he is, he should knock this dude out. This dude is not a bum. I believe he fought Marcus Brown before, and many people, including myself, though he beat Marcus Brown. They gave it to Marcus Brown though. I'm interested. I'm interested in this fight just to see just how good Morrell is. But this is a fight he should win. And then the last fight is Andy Cruz versus Antonio Moran. Andy Cruz, we all know to be the gold medalist who beat Keyshawn Davis. He is currently trained by Boots Ennis' father, Bozy Ennis. And he's going to be fighting Antonio Moran. Antonio Moran, we recently know him for hurting Jermaine Ortiz. He also got knocked out by Devin Haney. So this is a journeyman, but I'm not going to be too mad at this fight because Andy Cruz, this is a step up in competition to some degree. And where he's at in his career, this is the type of level of opponent he should be facing. So all in all, circling back, this is a card. This is a huge card, and it leads me to ask, like, yo, is Turki Alalshikh about to save boxing? Like, is this where boxing takes a step in the right direction, where we're gonna look back in history and be like, how did it go from being a niche sport? I'm not saying this card specifically. I'm saying just the moves and investment that Turki Alalshikh has in boxing. If he could keep bringing fights, giving us the fights we want, he may be a darling in the boxing industry. How bad did we want Bivol versus Beterbiev? Like, how bad did we want that fight? We wanted it badly, right? And nobody can do it until he stepped stepped up. And little by little, I feel like there's going to be fights like that just keep happening. You know what I'm saying? And although none of the fights specifically on this card is a fight that we've been anticipating and waiting for, I guarantee you that when you buy this pay-per-view, you're not going to be asking for your money back. Because even if one of these fights don't live up to the hype, you know the other one is. Like, first of all, the main event is Crawford. Like, Crawford is always in entertaining fights, getting stoppages. And Madrimov, if you've seen him fight before, you know he's not a bum. I'm not saying he beats Crawford, but he's not no bum. And this is Crawford's first fight at 154. Who knows if he could take punches there at that weight class? I'm not saying he can or can't. I'm just saying if this is his first fight and he's facing a tough guy, you know, that's something to watch out for. And Crawford is always an entertaining fight. Pitbull Cruz versus Valenzuela, two offensive-minded Mexicans with power in both hands, both of them. Love it. Tim Tszyu versus Virgil Ortiz. This impossible that's not a good fight. Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller. Again, that's a fight that I'm not crazy about in terms of what the result entails for the winner, but that could be a fun fight. David Morrell, we want to see more of. You know what I'm saying? He's taking a step up. Andy Cruz, we want to see more of. He's taking a step up. And if we can continue to get cards like this, and so far, this is his first one. Well, not even. He had that Day of Reckoning that was a pretty deep card, but that was out in Saudi Arabia, and it seems like the American fan base don't necessarily like that when the fights are in Saudi Arabia because they want to attend or whatever. They want the time to be appropriate to them. I'm not sure, but hey, man, the guy's trying. The guy now brought a super card to America. Let's see how he does here in America with these super cards. That's so interesting. And also, I want to know. I found something interesting. I found something very interesting, and I want you guys' opinion. And y'all can write in the chat. Tell me what y'all think. So the WBC and Riyadh season have partnered up. I'll read a little bit of the article, and then I'll just breeze through what the article is basically about. So I'll just skip to it. It says Alalshikh emphasized that this partnership is an extension of efforts made by Riyadh season to elevate the entertainment sector in the kingdom, highlighting the significant impact the partnership will bring to the sport of boxing, as the WBC is one of the most important and prestigious official organizations in the world of boxing. So basically, they're saying they partnered up to bring attention to the tourism out in Saudi Arabia. Now, I'm curious as to how the WBC sponsorship brings that more people to the country. I'm not following, and I'm not. Maybe you guys are smarter than me, and write in the chat. I don't know what could be happening. Why would you partner up with, like, what is the WBC gonna do to make sure people travel to Saudi Arabia? I don't know, but that's just something interesting I found. If Turki Alalshikh eventually becomes a promoter, I'm not so sure that's not a conflict of interest. And also, I'm not so sure that this is not something Mauricio won't forget. Like, hey, man, he did sponsor me at one point. Maybe his fighter, instead of 15, is ranked number three, ranked number 1 or something like that. I don't know. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm just saying that's something to keep in mind. But Turki Alalshikh, man, he came to boxing at the perfect time. This is a time where PBC is we don't know what they're doing. They have a few cards out, but there's a bunch of fighters and a bunch of Dominican fighters, unfortunately, who don't have dates and don't have specific opponents, don't have nothing, and there's no clarity as to what's going on. It's unfortunate that that's what's going on in boxing, but that's unfortunate because PBC, they were doing good stuff at Showtime, And our Dominicans, they were getting dates, and you know, we were having a lot of fun with it. But unfortunately, they're they're going through a transition, and hopefully they transition in a good way out of it. But in the intermission of that transition, Turki Alalshikh has come to America now. Finally, he's brought those entertaining fights that he was bringing to Saudi Arabia. Now he's bringing to America, and let's see how often he does it. How often is he going to be bringing it to America? Also, what channel is this going to be on? I'm assuming it's the Zone, but I saw a video with Sean Porter saying that during his coverage, which he was hired to do, they wouldn't allow him to say which streaming platform will be delivering this. So I found that interesting. Also, PBC recently had said that no, not PBC, excuse me. Turki Alalshikh had recently said he's going to be doing business with PBC and Al Heyman. So I don't know. Does it Amazon? Is Terrence Crawford still on PBC? It also has Pitbull Cruz, who I don't know if he's signed to PBC or not, but does business over there. Most of his fights have been on PBC cards. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. But then, you know, you got some Golden Boy guys, you got some Matchroom guys on there. We'll see. But I'm interested. I'm very interested as to seeing how that this fight plays out. Another thing that I'm curious as to how long is he going to stay in boxing? Is he going to stay in boxing for a little bit until he gets his tourism up in Saudi Arabia and people realize it's a good country to travel to, or whatever his goals are? Or is this something he's in it for the long run? You know, I googled, he's only in his early 40s. Is he going to be somebody who's in it for 30, 40 years and involved in boxing and constantly, you know, trying to make the best fights happen? I don't know. Because you know, I don't know, how do I say this without being disrespectful? There's only so much you can lose out without gaining a profit where you're going to be comfortable. All those cards he's been throwing in Saudi Arabia, there's no way he's been netting profit off of that. When you paying Anthony Joshua $30 million, I doubt that the gate was more than that. I doubt that, you know, the streaming services you made that much off of, if he had a hand in it, because technically he's not a promoter. So I don't know. How many years, how many cards can he lose out on money and it not run out, or he not go, you know what, I'm done with this, you know, I'm moving to the side, I'm a transition into something else? I don't know. I'm curious as to how long he stays in boxing. And also, hey man, is he gonna help Dominican boxing? Because you know, he's paying out these money for people to travel out to Saudi Arabia and fight and not worry about selling tickets. And honestly, that's always been the criticism about Dominicans, whether it's justified or not, that Dominicans don't sell tickets. Yo, I can't make, is Turki Alalshikh gonna be bringing Elvis Rodriguez and Carlos Adames and Michelle Rivera out there? Edwin De Los Santos and Alberto Poyo, is he gonna be bringing those guys out there? Go, yo, don't worry about if you don't sell tickets. You know, we're gonna put you in this card in Saudi Arabia because we're trying to bring tourism here. Just give us a good fight. And all those guys I mentioned, for the most part, provide a very entertaining fights. I know De Los Santos is coming off of a very boring performance, but for the most part, Dominican fighters, we're entertaining. So I'm curious, you know, how does he help Dominican boxing? And it's refreshing though. It's refreshing thing to see and hear that the fight is about to happen. This card, this deep is about to happen. But hold on, let me introduce my man, Juan de lo mío. ¿Qué lo que, mi hermano?
What's going on, my brother? How you doing? How you feeling today?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. You know, happy to have you on, man.
You
I'm
look
talking
well
about
rested.
what's up?
You look well rested.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Today's my day off. Thank God. You know, I've been working hard and stuff like that. Uh,
Definitely.
Yeah, today's my day off and woke up to some good news. Well, not today, but I wanted to talk about this good news about this card, and I wanted your opinion on it, man. What you think about Turkey Alalshikh making this super card and bringing it to America now, not only Saudi Arabia? What's your thought on that?
As a fan, man, we excited, man. We excited. Anytime you get to see something new, because that's what I complain a lot about. Seeing the old ways of doing business in boxing, and sometimes you get tired of that. Sometimes you want to see the cross promotions. You want to see. I never heard of Crawford's opponent, so I get to see him. I get to see Crawford at a new weight class, and it's just keeping fighters active, man. The boxers that we love to see, keeping them fighting at least 2 to 3 times a year. I mean, this hasn't been working, man. I remember when we had HBO, man, at the heyday of HBO, guys used to fight, man. Guys used to fight to get their name popping, and you got guys living off a victory that they had a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So it's good to see this, Joel. It's good to see this new
Yeah,
this
no,
new.
and I was talking to my man Truth from A Side Boxing Talk. Shout out to Truth.
He got a
He
hot
he has,
phone. I haven't seen him in a while.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know why he hasn't hopped on, but that's still my man. That's my guy for sure. He had said how he watched a Tito Trinidad fight the other day, and as he was walking into the ring, the announcers were like, "Man, I don't know how Tito's gonna look today. He's coming off this long layoff. This layoff may affect his performance." Blah 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 blah. And he was like, "The guy, he was only coming off a 6 month layoff. So to them, a 6 month layoff was like, how is this guy gonna look? How is this guy gonna perform now?"
That's
That's
normal.
the norm.
That's
Like,
the norm.
no, the norm is when's the last time Elvis fought? When's the last time
It
Caballo
doesn't.
fought?
It doesn't benefit the guys that haven't established themselves yet. It only benefits the people that are making the $5 million paydays, the top echelon of the sport. And if
Yeah,
you're a young guy coming up, man, at this point in time, it doesn't even matter if you win. You better win dominantly to the point where they can negate you. They can negate you because it's bad if you're on the come up and you haven't built a name yet.
and that's where Turkey Alalshikh comes into play. He would just wants good, entertaining fights. He wants to bring people to Saudi Arabia. He wants to promote the sport. He actually is a fan. He's a knowledgeable
He's a
guy.
real fan.
I want to see. I want to see what effect he has on Dominican boxing. If there's any fighters that are Dominican that interest him to bring them over there, you
I'm gonna
know.
be honest with you. If it wasn't for him, De Los Santos would be getting the rematch with Rayo. So in a way, I'm not that happy. Because
Well, matter of fact, let's touch on that. Let's touch on that.
you heard Rayo at the press conference telling, "Hey, I was getting ready for Edwin, and now I know why Edwin told me that nothing was signed and sealed yet, because
Yeah,
things like that was getting worked in the background, man, and it's unfortunate. You know why it's unfortunate? Because there's another opportunity that's not going to be given to our guys, man.
yeah,
But
that is unfortunate because that's a fight that made so much sense. Edwin is coming off of a very, very boring fight, and the what got Edwin's name up amongst the boxing community was that performance against Raya, how entertaining it was and how surprising it was. Uh, since then,
no,
I want to say, De Los Santos stock went up, and then after the Adorno fight went down a little bit, and now after the Shakur fight, it's gone down a lot. Rayo after that lost to De Los Santos, went down. Then he lost to Colbert, went down again.
in the eyes of the fans, he didn't really lose the first one, but he
But he
lost.
lost. He lost.
Exactly.
But then in the rematch, he scores a knockout of the year type knockout. So now it's back up. So it's kind of like one guy on the way down, one guy on the way up. And it's like, is this guy really all the way back? Can he right his wrong of that knockout loss that he had to De Los Santos, like he did with Colbert? And like with Edwin is like, yo, You showed us some extreme power. You showed us some entertaining fights, entertaining style. And when you fought Rayo, now we're gonna give you him again. So it had the perfect storyline, and then it's like, all right, now he's gonna go fight for a title at 140 against Pitbull, and now Edwin is up in the air. I'm hearing rumors, and I haven't confirmed this or not. I'm
No
hearing rumors
confirmation.
that he's gonna be fighting Gary Antoine Russell.
I'm gonna be. There's no confirmation, but I'll tell you one thing, Joel. I know you feel differently about this, but I feel like they always give my guys the harder road. You're not big. I don't think you're that big on Gary Antoine. I
Hell no,
think
yo, that dude is not that good, bro. He's not that
You
good.
see Edwin Washington.
Edwin not. I'll be surprised it goes past 5. I'm picking Edwin in 4, but I'll give it 5 just in case. Yo,
You
Edwin should
picking
knock this
Edwin in
dude out.
4?
4 rounds, bro.
Oh, if he does that, that's a bigger one than Rayo, if you ask me.
I would pick Edwin De Los Santos in 4 rounds. And I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. And because I feel like Chelo has been trying to get Edwin to box a lot. And I personally don't like that. But in this fight, I actually wouldn't mind him boxing more because Gary Antoine Russell just fights on at one speed. He fights, yeah, coming forward. And although Edwin, I want him to fight aggressively. If the guy's already going to be coming to you,
Perfect.
then it's okay. All right, box. Like, I don't understand what was the game plan when he was fighting Shakur, where he was boxing with the boxer. To me, that made no sense. But in this case, I would love for him to fight that way and use his counter punches and speed and ability and foot movement and head movement and counter punching and all those abilities that I know he has. I like that fight, and I think it's an easy fight. I think it's an easy fight for him, to be honest with you.
If Edwin beats a talent like Gary Antoine Russell,
He's not that talented. That's what I'm trying to tell you, though.
no, that's what you're saying, obviously, but he's not. He's obviously not looked as a rollie in the game.
No, he's not that. He's not
He has
that
a
bad.
decorated amateur career. He's undefeated.
He's a good fighter.
Because they offered him a Puello fight for a title shot, and he didn't take it.
He turned it down.
He turned it down. So that says a lot about his confidence and how he feels he measures at the top of the game. So
And he's also been very inactive. Let me pull up his box rec. Hold on. He's also been very inactive. This dude. Hold on one second, because there's like 100 Gary Russells, so I gotta make sure I put the specific one. He's been very inactive, and then his last fight, he won by first round knockout. So there's only so much rust he shook off. Damn, he's 27.
he's 27.
Jeez,
Wow.
I didn't know that. Damn, he old for, like, you know what I'm saying, for not have fought for a title and shit like that. Not old in life, you know what I mean?
I didn't think he was that old.
Yeah, he's 27, and he last fought in August, but that was a first round knockout. The time before that, he fought in July of 2022. So I don't know when that fight is rumored to be scheduled, but he may have a whole year without fighting, and then
Last fight,
and then that last fight was a first round knockout. It's like it's crazy. And by the way,
I don't even remember that fight. That's crazy. Oh yeah, I do remember the Puerto Rican kid he knocked out.
Yeah, he knocked out Ken Cruz,
a guy that had really no power.
Yeah, but he was undefeated.
This is the thing that I tell you, man. This is a conversation I remember having with Edwin. I'm like, I remember we were in my house and we were talking, and I'm like, damn, Edwin, I don't want you to take those prospect level hardcore fights. You know, after that Rayo fight, they should give you great fights. They should give you good fights. Not, I feel as though when they put him against these prospects, and these guys coming up is the guys that no one at the top wants to face. And he tells me straight up, bro, I'm an immigrant, bro. I'm Dominican. Like I don't pick and choose my opponent. There's the road I gotta take, and that's what I'm in here for. So he was talking to me with a sense of no, yeah. You know who was who was the guy we were talking about? The guy in Top Rank, the the one that's Shakur little brother. They call I
Oh,
forget.
Keyshawn Davis.
Keyshawn Davis. I'm like, oh, you shouldn't take that fight. You bugging? Because there was talks around that time. And like, bro, you bugging, bro. I gotta see them dudes. I'm Dominican. I don't get to pick no opponents. I don't think that guy stands in front of me, to be honest with you. And I'm looking at him like, yo, he think he like that. And I'm happy when I hear my guys talking like that, because it's like it's something that I heard from Jan Santana too as well. He's like, bro, they can't play that game with us, man. All those guys we could see all them guys. We spar with these guys. We know our talent level is just up there with us. It's just the opportunity. They got to give us those opportunities. So when I hear you also confirming that, I'm happy to see this confidence in Dominican boxing. Even though we had some bad losses, we still got the cream of the crop in terms of good talent.
And like I said last time we were live, yo, one loss in boxing can't be everything, man. It can't be you got one loss, throw them away. It can't be that. Because if that's the case, then let's throw out Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard and all these guys who have lost before. Yeah, there's like a handful of guys who retired undefeated and went to the Hall of Fame. Marciano, Calzaghe, Floyd Mayweather, Finito Lopez, and then maybe I'm missing a few, but there's very few guys that retire undefeated. It's like, so yeah, Michelle took a loss. Okay, but Michelle could come back. Yeah, Elvis took a loss. He could come back. Same thing with Adames and certain guys. Now, certain guys, depending on how they lost and how they look after they lose, meaning did they get comfortable? In the case of Hector Luis Garcia, who I felt got comfortable after the tank.
I was the highest rated Dominican at one point in time, if you remember. You were big on him.
No, because he won 3 silver medals in the Pan American Games, went to the Olympics. Yo, when I tell you he got robbed, it's almost an understatement how bad he got robbed in the Olympics. He even dropped the guy, and the referee said, no, he ain't dropped. He slipped. Yo, but it was a clean overhand left and dropped him.
I hear that from people. I hear that. You think it's robbery in the pros. You haven't seen nothing in the amateur.
Oh, no. Yeah. And so, so like when he dropped him, I'm like, damn, and they ain't counted. And so I already knew from his amateur pedigree, he was a good fighter. Then he goes and he scores an upset against Chris Colbert. Back when Chris Colbert was undefeated and he took the fight on short notice. Dominates him, drops him, wins the fight. Then fights Gutierrez, becomes a champion, dominates, wins that fight.
Yeah, he was winning convincingly. Yeah, he was, and beating champions convincingly. Gave Colbert his first L.
And I was like, okay, like this guy, I was at that point, I was like, this guy may be the best Dominican. If this guy may be the best Dominican because
and the Dominican curse came.
The guy gets his chance against Tank. Whatever. When the first time he gets hurt in the fight, he quits in the corner, and then he wasn't 100% focused in that fight against Lamont Roach, and even Lamont Roach said it in my interview. I don't know if you remember. He said, he said, I want to see if I could pull that up. If I could pull that up, that'll be clutch because I ain't even planned that.
He knew he was coming in there to take it.
All right, you know what? Yeah. Hold on. I think I found it. Hold on 1 second. Let me.
A particular part?
Yeah, a particular part where he talks about like, yo, I don't think he hungry no more. I think I'm going to beat him because he not hungry no more.
Yeah, man. Something that.
What makes you think you have Damn, bro. Look at me with hair there, son.
You were more colorful there. I don't know if it's the edit.
Yeah, maybe I came back from vacation or something.
He's ready. He'll be ready for that date. What makes you think that he won't be ready for that date?
You got to think the mandatory notice went out back in March.
Okay.
He was supposed to be, according to the mandatory notice, we were supposed to fight before May 20th. So, we got negotiations delayed for a reason, obviously because we wanted to work out a deal. But on top of that, it's because he's not ready.
You don't think he's been in camp? You don't think he's training?
Nah, too much money.
You think he's comfortable? You think he's comfortable with that?
I think so.
Okay. All right. And
you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Yo, this should let y'all know that people are studying y'all. People are watching y'all, man. They're watching y'all, man. Think about this, Joel. When you get that title, that's when you really become the prey. Everybody's after you.
And then when the fight happened, he fought comfortable. He fought like he said, like he wasn't hungry. Yo, that fight was up in the air the last 2 rounds. And you can tell he's not the one who wanted it. Lamont wanted it more.
Even if you, let's say the knockout is not get counted, he looked like the more confident fighter up there. He looked like the one that wanted that right. Mm-hmm. If I'm making myself clear, Joel.
No, you're making yourself very clear. Those middle rounds, there was many rounds where he was just comfortable not throwing punches and comfortable possibly losing the fight.
You're not gonna get the champion privileges. You're not De La Hoya fighting against Brown. You're not, and this is something going back to what you said, Joel. People have to understand when you're not gonna get the privileges, or you're not gonna get the Rolly privileges. You have to come here and fight like you're the underdog, even if you have the belt. Why? Because you're Dominican.
That's unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, but and I also feel like it's what's hindering Dominicans' success in boxing is nobody is dedicating efforts to growing the market. You get what I'm saying? Nobody's making a concerted effort of dropping money and watering it and making sure it gets enough sun to watch it blossom and grow. Because, yo, bro, if you tell me, let's just say that's an untapped market.
If there's one guy that could do it, it would be Eddie. If there's one guy, of course. Look what he did with Subriel, his first fight. Puerto Rico. Look what he's doing with Ennis. His first fight in Philly.
Oh, you saying Eddie Hearn.
Eddie Hearn. I'm getting comfortable like I know him. Eddie. Like,
yeah, I'm like, you said Eddie. I was like, you talking about Edwin de los Santos?
That's my boy, Eddie. He understands the logistics.
Yeah, his first fight,
common sense,
bringing him to Philly.
Common sense. He says he even sees Boots walking around with a bigger ego now because he has a promoter that's big on him, that's talking crazy about him. I don't know, man. I'm excited to see where the sport is going. And if I'm one of those guys that I'm unclear about my career, I'm DMing people. I'm DMing managers. I'm DMing promoters. Like, listen, this is my situation. Get me on. Give me a hard fight. I don't care. Let me prove myself. Because you got people that got to eat, bro. Boots said, man, I got a family. They asked him, what was your decision on why you chose to move? Man, I had a family. I had a lot of overhead. I'm taking care of a lot of family. I'm paying mortgages. And I'm not eating. Imagine you being out of work for a whole year.
I can't imagine that.
That's crazy.
No, and what a lot of people don't realize is just because you see somebody fighting on TV don't mean they got more money than you.
Yeah.
Then you watching this YouTube channel right now, you probably think some of these boxers got millions and millions in the bank. Yo, a lot of these guys, they get paid $100,000 per fight, and then after taxes and paying the trainer and all this, they probably only seeing 40, 35, and then they got to take care of their family in DR and all this. So it's a
Not
lot of.
only that, I'm sorry to tell you, Joe, when you come from even a poor background, they feel like they could shit on you even more. When they feel like giving you an opportunity, hey, listen, you wasn't even supposed to be here. Here, take that 40,000 real quick and shut up. You're about to fight this guy. I know, because I've seen some paychecks already from people showing me, and I'm like, I couldn't believe it.
Well, and that's why getting back to the topic, and that's why I think Turki Alalshikh just might be what boxing needed. It just might be the shot in the arm that boxing needed, and he may be able to bring fights monetarily, make sure the fighters get paid monetarily properly, and if Eddie can get involved in this Dominican market and help build it in New York, yo, you imagine if he successfully grows the audience in New York, all those Dominicans, packed Madison Square Garden. You know how lit it would be.
He'll be known as the innovator. He'll be known as the guy. He'll be known as the guy that's one of the best promoters.
No, but he'll take over boxing. He'll take over boxing.
He took something that people didn't appreciate and turned them into something. There's one thing when you could grab a Boots Ennis that was already a name, and you got him, a Matias. But to bring a whole new market into the sport, they'll give you your kudos for that. People will give
and what a market it is, because you know como somos nosotros, loco. We lit.
Somebody's gonna do it, Joel. Someone is gonna do it. The fighters gotta keep doing their job though. Edwin has to come here and do what you said, because I don't even got him winning in 4. I got him winning probably later on. I got him I got him winning like Haney, like Garcia won over Haney, couple knockdowns. But the guy, but not knocking him out completely.
Okay, all right.
The guy's gonna come aggressive. The guy's gonna come aggressive, and that boy can box and he can punch.
Yeah, my thing is, you come aggressive with a guy who not punching like that. Like when you facing a puncher like Edwin, you're gonna get hurt, man. When he's landing those clean, hard punches, you're gonna now either continue coming forward, and that's gonna get you knocked out, or you're going to want to box, you're going to want to move, and that's not his style. That's not what he's used to doing. And now you a fish out of water. So I think that that guy's tailor-made for Edwin. What I really wanted is Gary Antoine Russell versus Elvis Rodriguez. That's what I really wanted, but I think he knew that was going to happen.
And you know what's going to hurt him, Joel? What's going to hurt him is he's never been challenged. He hasn't been in a fight where he has been tested, where his chin has been rocked. He hasn't gone through that yet. Edwin been in a situation where he got dropped and came back like a dog and knocked him out.
Yeah,
Gary Antoine hasn't been through that.
Nah, Gary got hurt real bad against Rancis Bartholomew.
But you saw what they did in that
first round. Yeah,
they stopped him. That was a weird stoppage.
Yeah, no. He got 2 bad stoppages on his resume. He got the Victor Postol one and the Rancis Bartholomew one. Both bad.
Russell type stoppage right there.
Yeah, man. Don't get me started on you. Yo. I don't think there's been a live where you don't bring up Barroso, man.
I'm hurting for to see, because you know what it is.
But he came back and got a first round knockout.
Well, he should have been fighting, but look, he's not fighting nobody. He doesn't. He's not made a priority. How you prove yourself in the ring? This is what we cry about, Joel, a lot of times. And I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but look at these guys like Sims, #1 mandatory. Barroso, look at these guys that are there.
Ponme Barroso contra Elvis or Sims contra Elvis or Sims
Give
contra
him a payday. Make him. These guys don't care already who you put him in there with. They don't care.
The thing is, if you with PBC, they just don't got no dates. They don't got no dates, man.
And that last fight for him was at Golden Boy. The Zone could probably you know what's crazy, yo? The Zone be having cards every weekend, it seems. And I don't even be knowing these guys. They have a card right now going on.
Yeah.
This weekend. Who are these 2 guys?
They got a card this weekend?
Yeah, look at it, even know.
Yo, you know what's funny? I'll be so focused on finding news out that I'll be forgetting when fights. I don't.
I was shocked myself. I'm like, who are these two guys? I was talking to Anthony about that. I'm like, yo, Anthony, the zone be having like main events for guys that are not even, in my eyes, are not even main event worthy. Just imagine if real hard hitters was over there.
Wait, all right, so tomorrow is Yoenis Diaz versus Joseph Jackson. Now, Yoenis Diaz is a Cuban, and this motherfucker nice, bro. Like this dude is 154 pounder, and he looks like he's the goods. He reminds me of like, put it like this: he's like a little David Morrell. Like he's that good. So
this
that's
is a
what that is.
This fight
at 154, yeah. And then the day after tomorrow, the 27th, it's Jose Ramirez versus Francis Bartolome and Virgil Ortiz versus Thomas Dulorme. Those are two very big mismatch, and those are both fights that are on the zone tomorrow and the day after tomorrow.
You talking about that one?
Right.
Tellers and Jackson, 154.
Yeah, that one.
I'm just surprised that's in the main event fight. You see, like the zone has cards. Just
they keeping guys active. Like
you gotta give it to them, man. Because I don't even know who these guys are.
Yeah, nah. Trust me. You watch Tellez, man. That dude is nice, bro.
No, I'm gonna watch it obviously because it's a main event fight.
That dude is nice.
That's what I'm telling you about boxing, Joel. That these people, like I remember when the zone was a laughing stock of like promotion. What we used to be like.
I remember when they first came in the game. I didn't think they were gonna last
at all, right?
I was like, because they were overpaying fighters, and then it was like you got to pay a monthly subscription. I was like, nah, that shit ain't gonna work. Get the fuck out of here, man. That shit is not gonna work.
You imagine that Dominican talent over there and actively fighting? Because they have our guys have names. Our guys have names. When we talk about the echelons of Dominican boxing. Caballo.
Give me 2-3 names who you would like to see on the zone. Give me 3 names, because if I say you probably don't name the whole Elvis.
Caballo. Edwin.
Those are your 3.
Man, I want them all. If they're gonna keep my guys active, we gotta see our guys fight.
That's true.
Not only that, the states, the only way you stay relevant in boxing is you're as good as your last fight. Nobody wants to hear about what you did 2 years ago or a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the zone. They're making little. This is a small fight.
Yeah. One thing I realize about you appreciate more the little fights than the big fights.
Because I drank the Kool-Aid, Joel. I drank the Kool-Aid of just watching the top echelon fighters. And who is this new guy coming up? Oh, my, he ain't good enough. Like, I drank the Kool-Aid. At one point in time, I thought Crawford wasn't it. Now, Crawford ain't going to do nothing with the PBC guys. So I've noticed what heavily promotion could do to the mind of a fan. You actually think the guys that they're showing you are the ones that's it, and not the ones that's in the undercards and the small cards. So we have to be careful with that, man. When we have to start demanding those competitive fights, and that's what I want to see, Joe. I want to see my guys active. All right, he's not getting $1 million, but he's active. He's on a main event card or right under it, co-main event. You imagine that they do a Dominican card? Joel, I don't know these two guys. That's a main event fight.
I don't know the Jackson guy, but I know Tellez.
That's the main event fight. So I know if the zone keep bringing these guys in, come on, man. Puello was a former champion. You don't even hear about him no more. Mm-hmm. And just beat a good prospect.
Yeah, back in December. Yo, but right now, all the established guys. I'm not talking about like Roan Polanco, Jan Santana, because it's funny, even they don't have fights. But yo, no Dominicans on the schedule right now. Caballo don't got a date. Elvis don't got a date. Edwin don't got a date. Huello don't got a date. Hector Luis Garcia don't got a date. Luis Nunez don't got a date. Michelle Rivera don't got a date.
Edwards gonna be fighting in that June card.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't.
They don't
I'm talking about right now. Right
Yeah.
now,
Right.
I just mentioned 7 fighters off the top of my head, and this obviously there's more, and none of them got a date.
And they haven't been losing. It's not like they're losing or anything like that.
Nah, I mean Edwin did lose his last fight, but other than that, Carlos Adames, Elvis, all those other guys I mentioned, they're coming
It's
off
how you
wins.
lose, though, Joel. It's how you lose. Look at Michelle Rivera. Michelle just beat a former champion. He should have fought by now.
Yeah, his name don't be getting mentioned at all.
At all.
I want to see. Like we mentioned it before. I want to see if Devin Haney comes back and use him as kind of like a tune-up. And I think that's the right move for Devin if that's the route he wants to go.
It's still a hot little name.
Yeah,
somebody that's not known for knockout power like that, and it's giving Michelle an opportunity. And that kid stays in the gym. That's a good thing.
I wonder who's he going to be training with. From what I understand, he's not going to be training with Jermaine Ortiz's people anymore.
Nah, he's not going to be training over there. That's why I was asking you that question. With the form, that's the question that I wanted to ask the former trainer that you were interviewing there.
Which former trainer?
One of my sources says that he might be the one training him in the States when he comes back up.
The Dominican.
That was the last question I was going to ask you. You was like, "Oh, let him go, man."
No, he had to go run. He had to go train Adames. I don't know if you remember. Adames went. He had gym gear. He was like, "No, yo me voy a correr."
From my understanding, he likes the work that he gave him in DR. Now that he's staying here, he could do un campamento con él in Vegas where all the Dominicans are at.
Okay, that'll be nice for him. That'll be nice for both. One for I believe his name is Osvaldo Guzman. For him to get his name up, and for him to get an opportunity. That's something that we were talking. Like a lot of Dominican trainers don't get opportunities. Like even Edwin de los Santos, when he came to America, he came with his Dominican trainer. And it wasn't until his manager made him change. He changed 2-3 trainers. I don't know if you knew that.
That was the problem that he was having, man. They brought him over here, and it's crazy when you think about that's actually protocol, Joel. That's actually protocol. When a foreign fighter comes here, they take their trainer away. Well, I don't know.
And I can't blame them. I can't listen. The person being invested, I can't blame them from going, I'm gonna invest in you.
You gotta do this.
So I know this good trainer, Joan Guzman, Bob Santos, Ismael Salas, Robert Garcia, whatever trainer. I'll just pick a name out of a hat. I'm gonna invest in you, and I know this guy has a professional training camp. This guy's gonna train you. This guy knows this, and this guy knows that. Now, this guy, random guy from DR that you coming with, I don't know him. And on top of the fact that I don't know him, his resume, he don't got no world champions on his resume. You get what I'm saying? I've never seen a Dominican win a world championship with a Dominican trainer.
Because they take him away. How are you gonna have a champion if they take
no,
you away?
But that's my point. Really? I like the fact that Michelle Rivera is considering training with this guy, and who knows where his career goes. And if he is to win a world title or something like that, he would show, hey, I did it with the Dominican trainer, and again opens up that
and Michelle's coming off a good win. He's coming off a good win. I remember you even said, man, if he gets that win, I'll give it to him because that's not an easy opponent.
No, not an easy opponent at all. And he, don't get me wrong, he had his how do I say? He had his trouble in that fight, but he still won. I believe it was a 10-round fight. Probably won 7-3 or something like that, 6-4, 7-3. But that's a good opponent. And although older, he took his shots and handled it well.
At one point in time, he put pressure on him, and I was like, "Oh man, what is he
Yeah,
gonna do?"
I saw Michelle. He was definitely at times running, but hey, man, he must have felt something, and he won the fight.
And then he
That's
came and controlled after a while. It was a good W.
mhm. The nobody 92. Shout out to you, my brother, with a $2 super chat says, "Is Schofield still going to work with Joan Guzman?"
That's a good
Uh,
question.
I don't know. I know Joan is still in New York. I don't know. I don't know what's the situation there. Last time I spoke to Joan, it was something along the lines that he hasn't got that they exchanged numbers and they spoke like that. But anything further than that, I haven't spoken with Joang in a while, to be
And
honest with
remember, guys, Schofield's going to be out for a while now because of that cut he had to his eye.
you.
So he's gonna be resting. And I heard him on an interview say he had like a little injured hand or something. So he was gonna take some time out.
I'm hoping the fight. I'm hoping they do train together. And you know, hey man, I made it happen. So I definitely.
That would be a great look
Whoa,
for
whoa,
you.
whoa, 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 whoa! I got a 50 piece. A $50 super chat. Shout out to Fanon International Boxing
Oh, that's
Champion.
real. I know who that guy is.
Yeah,
Great,
I know him too. I know him too.
great
He
work.
got
He
good
does great work.
content. He says, "Salute to you, sir. Love your work. Keep grinding, man." First of all, I just want to say thank you so much. That's definitely
That
a
means a lot.
hefty super chat, and I appreciate you. And for sure, man. Anytime you want to come on my channel, just hit me on the DM, or you want me on your channel, hit me on the DM, and we'll make it happen for sure, man. I
Joel, how
appreciate
does
you.
it feel when you have a guy like that, man, fan and a guy that's been doing this for a minute, very professional, when he gives kudos to a guy like you that's coming up? How does that feel, man?
Hey man, real recognize real. I feel like a lot of people like the dudes who don't like me, they either jealous or just yeah, most of the times they know they're just not on my level. Like I feel like those dudes who don't like me or the dudes who feel I feel like they feel more intimidated about me. But when people are secure themselves and actually know the sport, like my man Fanon, or it was a Fannin.
Fan. I don't know. The fan
I
phenomenon.
thought it was for nine. I'm gonna say for nine because that's what I think it is. You could correct me in the chat. My bad, brother. Yeah, but guys like Fanon who know boxing and come on my channel, hear what I got to say, maybe have seen an interview or two. You know, they respect it, and I respect him, and that just goes around. You know, real recognize real, man, and you know he's a good dude.
That's a 50, man. That's the
50
record.
piece,
Is that
man.
a record?
Nah, the record was 100 by
A hundred? You got?
Karma one time threw 100 piece at me. Yeah.
You send her a shirt?
I sent them more than one shirt. I sent them a bunch of shirts. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was like, hold on. I gotta show her some love, man. Call me the homie, man. I definitely appreciate it. Oh shit.
What happened?
Oh shit. My man just sent the 100 piece. He says fun on.
Oh,
I got it
shit.
right. He goes,
He said, I'm going for the record. He said, I'm going for the record.
Hey man. I truly appreciate that.
Wow.
You know, again, I wasn't
No, we were just talking. I brought that up because I thought
yeah,
that was the
yeah.
record, man. That's crazy.
Hey man, I appreciate that. That's definitely a lot of money. You know, I appreciate you. And yeah, hit me up. Like I said, whether you want me on your channel or you want to be on my channel, either way, I'm cool with either one, and we could discuss any topic you would like. No limit, you know, as long as it's boxing related, obviously. No limit as to
The pronunciation down there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Fun. I had it right. It's Fanon, not Fannin. I knew I had it right. Yeah. Nah, man. I truly appreciate that.
Where's
Man.
he from, Joel?
What do you mean? I don't know where's he from. I don't know.
That's major, man. That's a shout out, man. And that's a testament to the work that you've been putting in, man. A lot of people don't realize how difficult it is to actually get subscribers and people to listen to you for hours on hour when there's so many people out here with platforms nowadays, man. And I know the love that you have for the sport as well and how you invest in the sport, Joel. So that's a testament to the work that you've been doing, man.
Yeah, man, and it's definitely a cool feeling when people appreciate you. Also, a cool feeling with people who respect you. Like I was on the phone earlier today with another content creator, and when I got off the phone, I got off motivated. He was telling me all he does. I won't mention his name because it was a private conversation. He was telling me how he studies his analytics, how he releases his videos at a specific time, how what else? What else we've
Next
discussed?
level stuff, basically.
Yeah, like shit that I'm not doing. And then he was discussing how often he go lives and how that affects the algorithm and the thumbnails and very, very fine details. And I was like, damn, like I'm not even up on that like that. And I have more time than this guy, and this guy has more subscribers than me. And I'm like, okay, but this is my guy. This isn't like this is my dude. And he
And
was
this
just putting me up on game on what to do, what not to do. And I was just like, okay. And I was giving him some of the things that I knew that, how to move around this boxing shit. So I definitely
he's in the boxing manosphere. He's in the boxing
yeah,
atmosphere.
yeah, yeah. And again, real recognize real. He's another dude that was a real dude. Again, I'm not mentioning his name because it was a private conversation, but real dude. And hey, man, I'm the more the merrier for sure.
Definitely.
I got the Nobody 92 with a $5 super chat. Says, why was Gary Antoine against fighting Puello, but it seems like he has no problem fighting Edwin?
Well, he's just a dog. That should tell you that.
Yeah.
It should tell you that he wasn't that confident fighting
From what I understand, like his family felt like he needed more time to develop. And honestly, that is what I'm gonna say it because I know that is what was said. His team said. So let me tell you the timeline of everything, how it happened. After Puello won the title, a couple months later, I'm talking to my sources, and they tell me, yo, we were gonna put him to fight Puello, Gary to fight Puello, but Gary team is not ready for that. They said that he needs time to develop that, after that fight with Rancis Bartholomew, like they want to give him a little bit of time. And I was like, cool. Honestly, I was like, that's not a duck. That's just you saying you're not ready. That's just you saying you need to develop. Like, you're not gonna throw in a prospect against a champion if you don't think he's gonna win. Wait till he develops into a contender, and then you throw him in. That's my mindset. Then out of nowhere, he comes out with some shit where he's saying, why would I fight Puello when Puello is beneath me and all types of weirdo shit? And I was just like,
whoa, he's kidding.
I was like, what? Then that's when I let the cat out the bag. I was like, it's funny you say that, but you turned that fight down, bro. Let's get that clear. You turned that fight down when they offered it to you. And
you know what's crazy? That was covered on the boxing. That they you didn't hear a lot of the bloggers talk about how he didn't take that fight.
No, because it was, like I said, it was told to me in confidence. So I was like,
it wasn't put out there. You're the only one that knew to think this information.
No, I'm not the only one that knew. It was something around the boxing media that we knew. But then he comes out and says that he wouldn't fight Puello because Puello's beneath him. I'm like,
it hurted me to see what happened to Puello because I know Puello would have held that title for a while. Because a lot of the guys, the opponents that they were putting against Puello were these young boys.
Yo, he would have stopped Rolly. He would have stopped Rolly.
He would have schooled him. He would have given him a beating for 12 rounds. He would have made him look foolish out there for 12 rounds.
Yo, when I saw what Barroso was doing to him, I was like, Diablo, imagine if that was Puello in there. Puello would have stopped this dude. Because Puello has a nice sneaky uppercut.
I think a lot of people
Huh?
I think a lot of people felt like it was justice what people did to that guy, man. Because it's like it got to a point in time where I got tired of hearing about this guy, man.
Even though I kept saying, "Yo, he's a name. He's a name." I'm like, a name to who?
A name to who? Like, it's not.
Not
so what that arena was. It was I think Michelle Rivera and Frank Martin fought there.
Yeah, and I was there. That's a really small arena, man. That's a really small
venue.
So it's like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know, man. It was very disappointing that
when
he
you
got
start
that belt.
backing 10,000 people, that's when you can be called somewhat of and a star. And if you think about it, that's not even that big of a deal. 10,000 people.
Well, the thing is,
In boxing,
10,000
it is.
in boxing is all relative. 10,000 is a lot of people in
In boxing,
boxing.
yeah, in
In
boxing.
boxing. Now, if you talk about a basketball event or something, then that's nothing. But if
That's
you
right.
talk about boxing, there's probably like 10 fighters. I'm talking about in America. There's probably only like 10 fighters who could draw 10,000. Let's name them off. Canelo could do it. I want to say if Joshua came here, he could do it. Javante, Benavidez, that's 4.
De Los Santos will put 10,000.
Yo, after that, Ryan is 5.
Yeah, Ryan.
Devin is 6.
Devin?
Devin did it in San Francisco.
I was shocked when he did that.
And he did it in Brooklyn against Ryan. So you got to give him credit.
I don't count that one.
Well, whatever. He did it in San Francisco.
I was shocked when he did that.
And he did it in Vegas against Loma.
Yeah, that's true. You could put it.
Yeah, so it was that 6.
But the opponent with him, it depends who the opponent is. I don't think
but he fought Regis and did 15,000 in San Francisco.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah, come on. Yo, you don't like Haney, bro. You don't like Haney, man.
I'm pulling your car. I don't know. I'm a little. I don't know. Something about me with scary fighters, man. And I'm not gonna lie. I have a bias against fighters like Hitchens, maybe Shakur, maybe a Haney
How did you feel about Floyd Mayweather during his reign?
I like Mayweather, but the fights, like the second McDonough fight, where he was like, "I'm gonna fight you totally different from how I fought you," I was a little critical with him. The Cotto fight I enjoyed.
Oh, that was a good fight. That was really
fights
good
where I've seen him, and then I understand he's older, his legs are not the same. He has to fight those type of fights. But when you have 18 and 20-year-olds clinching you every time you're trying to get in on them, and sir, come on, man. I'm not gonna give you that, because if you remember, Mayweather was a knockout artist when he was coming up the ranks.
at 130 for sure.
Mayweather was excited, man. Like Mayweather wasn't doing the foolery you see this kid's doing nowadays, where they could dance around the whole ring, get a W, and be considered a GOAT. That was in our era. That wasn't. You weren't looked at somebody that people wanted to see if you did that type of style of fighting, Joel. Don't get me wrong. When Shakur's exciting, he's excited, but I'm also looking at against who he's doing it. You get what I'm saying? Like if you're doing it against a slow-footed fighter that's just coming forward, it's just different things that I'm starting to learn now, Joel. When I was a new fan to the sport, I used to be the guy that said, "Wow, look at this guy! Wow." I never knew that. Yeah, of course, that's Arturo Gotti in front of him. He's supposed to do that to him. You get what I'm saying? They wasn't supposed to do that to Gotti.
Yeah. You was believing what they were selling you, and then once you became a boxing hardcore fan, it's almost better to be a casual, I feel.
Because your feelings won't hurt. You know the game that they're not playing on you.
No, right. So let me give you an example why. So they were when Carlos Adames fought J-Rock, right, in Minnesota. That fight was somewhat competitive up until the stoppage. Well, not somewhat. It was competitive up until the stoppage. And if you watch that fight through a casual's eye, you're like, "Oh, what a great fight." But if you look at it from our perspective, like a hardcore, we're looking at it like, "Damn, you should have knocked him out." It shouldn't have been
playing with this guy.
You saw what Jason Rosario did to him. Yo, because Jason Rosario beat that ass bad, bro.
You know the odds were crazy on that one. Oh man.
Yo, but that was like I remember rewatching it like a year ago, and I was like, damn, I don't remember it being that brutal. It was a bad beating. It was a bad beating.
That kid, see how it is prior to getting the money? That man came in there in the shape of his life. He looked as strong, active. His jab wasn't a slow jab. It was a sharp jab. it was just totally different, man. And he never came in the ring like that again.
No, but you heard when he came on my channel.
And he said it. The curse is real. He said it.
He was
All
keeping
the
it
females,
real.
all the women. He was a star in DR.
Yeah, I can't judge him though. I can't judge.
He broke it down to us in a way we could understand it. Because me and Joel, we American kids in a big sense.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time in the Dominican Republic, and the nobody. Shout out to him. He said, "Juan, you have to understand when these guys win these type of fights, they're the president in the country, in their barrio.
Mm-hmm.
They're that dude, and these guys are not used to that type of attention." And it does something to them, man. If you're not strong.
No, and not only that, and I'm not even being funny. This part is true. Yo, loco, you go to DR, esa mujer tan dura, ya, look. So now you imagine you got all the money in the world. That girl from the corner that
you could never touch, that you couldn't even look at.
And now she knocking at your car door. Ben, papi, babo, yo.
Whatever you want to do. That does
it's
something.
Hard, bro. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? That's why you better off being a Christian.
And a lot of these guys are not the smartest people. You know that what if that Brugada gets in your system?
And that's why I always stress for them not to drink, because that's when a lot of the mistakes happen.
He said you used to come into training camp 210, Joel.
Yeah, he said he went into training camp at 1.203 and another point 198. I'm like, damn, man. You
gotta lose 30, 40 pounds, and you know how you're basically you lost it on the scales. You lost the fight before you even got up there. Because now you gotta work twice as hard now for not being disciplined.
The Nobody 92 sends another $5 super chat. Shout out
this guy don't play, Joel.
Yeah, nah, he definitely don't play. He says Better BF versus Bivol. Who wins? And what do you think changed Suleiman's mind to make that fight happen? Money.
You know,
Turki Alalshikh. No, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm just gonna say
he's Russian, right, Joel?
Who?
One of them is Russian, right?
They both Russian.
And supposedly come fight for the WBC title.
I want to address. I'll just say Suleiman. I think somehow, some way, Suleiman is being very. I want to say Suleiman. The WBC is being very handsomely compensated. I'll say that. I don't know by who. I don't know by who. Oh. Who wins? I think Bivol wins, man. I think Bivol is like, you look at his resume, it's really, really good. I don't want to hear that Canelo was fucking small, because everybody was
knocking boys out at 175, dropping them.
Yeah, Canelo was a champion at 175 before. I don't want to hear that he was too small.
He wanted to unify that division.
Yeah, I pick Bivol. I think
you put your money on it.
I mean, I haven't seen the odds, but better be he's slowed down a lot. He's gotten hit a lot. He's gotten hit a lot throughout his career, and yes, he always seems to weather the storm and win by knockout. But there's only so many times you can do that. I believe he's 39, maybe 40. Bivol is still fresh. He doesn't get hit too much. He has speed. He has that jab. He has that boxing ability. Honestly, I feel like if I was a professional boxer, the style I would fight in, I feel like it would be Bivol's style. So maybe that's why. But I'm picking Bivol, man. I'm picking Bivol. How about you?
I'm picking Bivol because of the boxing ability he has. He measures distance well, and he attacks your ass. He's not just going to be jabbing you from far away. He's going to go in there. He's going to throw combinations. That's what I respect about him, you know. And but Bivol is a hard puncher, man. So, but I think Bivol's going to give him a lot of problems.
You got Bivol too?
I got Bivol.
Yeah.
I wasn't really looking at that fight like that, but now, when is it? Is this month?
No, I believe it's in June. If I'm not mistaken.
Got a lot of good fights coming up, man. And what's crazy is PBC hasn't even unloaded the whole schedule yet. Wait till all these promoters start throwing out.
Now, go ahead.
I'm waiting for all these promoters, because right now there's a lot of shifts going on in boxing, Joel. So many things going on right now that we can't even. It's like every day I wake up, something new in boxing's going on. It's exciting.
Yeah, like something simple as Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul on Netflix. Now, listen. I don't care about the fight because that's a fight that's
Just the platform.
stupid.
Think about it. Netflix. That's
but it's the platform, bro. What if Netflix gets a taste of boxing and goes, you know what? We want to get in the boxing business. Everybody got Netflix. Everybody got Netflix.
Worldwide. In DR, they got Netflix.
That's what I'm saying. So now you start, you could get Netflix with your boxing, you get boxing with your Netflix subscription.
And they could be like the Ali, how you pronounce his name? Excellency. His Excellency.
Turki Alalshikh.
I'm gonna call him His Excellency. That's how he likes it.
Yeah, His Excellency. that is how he's referred to at times.
His Excellency. Do you imagine if Netflix comes in there and wants to do cards and say, this is the fights that I want? That would be crazy. I want these fights. And they can get it off. They got money to throw.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. He's definitely has proven that he can make shit happen.
Yo, Joe, there's one thing I love when boxers are. I love when boxers get their just due and they start making good money. But if all these guys start becoming divas, like I got a feeling Pitbull's gonna become a diva if he gets a win. If he gets this win, he's gonna.
Who you got winning that fight?
That's a dangerous fight. I don't got Pitbull just Rayo. Look, something that Edmund told me that I never thought about. He said, Juan, ese tigre ha tumbado a todo el mundo con quien ha peleado. He said, Juan, that guy has knocked down every fighter he's fought. And it's the truth.
Yeah, no. I'm picking Pitbull, but I'm not going to dismiss Rayo's chances, man. I'm not going to dismiss Rayo's chances.
Rayo's a dog, and he has a good fighting style now. But he's boxing more now, so it's just that Pitbull and that coming forward, he's very defensively sound too, if you think about it.
No, Pitbull.
He impressed me with his victory. I ain't gonna lie.
No, I always knew Pitbull was good. And that win on Tank's resume is gonna look better is gonna age well. People are gonna be like, damn, he beat Pitbull. I feel like Pitbull is a very good fighter, and he's short, but he uses it to his advantage. He sets up counter punches. He has power. He's aggressive. He's a very good fighter, and people, including myself, we have maybe a dislike for him. I don't want to say a dislike, but at least not for me. A lot of people dislike him because of the choices his team has made.
Yeah, man. Those very critical of those last three opponents that he had after Tank.
Yeah, when he could have fought Michelle Rivera, he could have fought De Los Santos, he could
have
fought
to him,
Frank Martin, he could have fought, there's a lot of guys that he could have fought, but
and these are names that could have got him even hotter and hotter.
Yeah. Yo, Benji, by the way, I text you the link if you wanted to hop on, man. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want a lot of divas. It's like a blessing and a curse. I want my guys to win, but I don't want them to become divas, bro. Seriously, because then when you become a diva, you don't want to take. I
mean, it's unfortunate that people would tell me, "Yo, once they get a check, they get crazy. They're crazy," and I've seen it with my own eyes.
Got a check. I don't want to fight him. Why? I know he's my man.
Dominicans don't duck. At least they haven't shown.
They don't have no option to. They don't have that type of liberty or privilege.
Yeah.
I just feel hurt, bro, for guys like that's damn, man.
Like for example, everybody was turning down Shakur Stevenson. Edwin was the only one.
He was excited.
The only one raising his hand, like, I'll do it. I'll do it right now.
I remember I looked at him after the fight was signed. And I'm like, yo, that's Shakur. He was like, "Tu tá loco?" That guy can't stand in front of me. And he was right. He knew it. He
Yeah.
knew it. Yeah.
I just wish he would have came with a different game plan,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That fight took a lot of
He could
steam.
redeem everything under the big lights. Gervonta Benavidez undercard. You're opening that show up. That's major.
You think it's confirmed he's fighting that card? You think it's 100%?
I'm about 70%.
I mean, I hope so. I
I
hope
know
so.
he landed in Vegas today, so I can tell you that much.
He's in Vegas.
Yeah, he landed in Vegas. So
He's gonna do his full training camp in Las Vegas.
what he's traveling over there for? To come back and forth? That's a full training camp.
Yo,
That's a full training camp over there.
I remember. I don't know if you remember. One time I interviewed Jermaine Ortiz and Michelle Rivera at the same time.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were out there for a week and then flew back to Massachusetts. So
Is there a big fight? Is there a big fight out there this week?
No, not this week.
I know.
No, but what I'm saying is they have flown out there to do like a 1 week training camp to spar out there and then to go back. So
I just know June 15 is 8 weeks away, 2 months.
all right, I like that fact that he's training in Las Vegas. I didn't like the setup he had here in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York.
You like it to be full concentration mode.
Yeah, which is why I wanted him to switch trainers, because I felt like when he was in New York, when he was in Pennsylvania, he would travel then to New Jersey for sparring. Then he would travel to New York for sparring. Then he would travel to Philly for sparring. Then he would
what you have to understand is that you don't know the shift now. Now the Los Santos is a name, so the sparring partners were coming to him now. They were looking at it like, man, I'm getting an opportunity with the Los Santos. Once his name got up,
not for his last training camp. He was still traveling.
He was still traveling. Not a lot though. A lot of guys. Some guys were coming to him.
Where he lives, how far is Philly?
It's like an hour and a half.
That's what I'm saying. I know people in Philly that will call me and be like, yo, your boy looking good. Yo,
he came. He went to a couple spots. You're right.
Yeah.
It wasn't totally
and then I know some people in New Jersey too that told me when he went there, and that's another hour and a half. So you drive an hour and a half, spar, then drive another hour and a half for a full training camp. That's not good.
You don't want
you just doing that.
In Vegas, you don't gotta run around too much.
Yo, drive 15 minutes there.
He's gonna get a lot
gonna come to you one day.
Guys, a lot of y'all see us like we big and we brag a lot about De Los Santos. It's because we seen what he does, man. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people don't put a lot of stock in sparring, but the guys he's hitting are not chumps. These are guys that are good prospects coming up, guys that are established somewhat. And De Los Santos is you could tell that he's his levels. He's at a level he should be fighting on TV.
Benji, ¿qué lo que, mi hermano?
Dime a ver.
This is when I shut up. This is when I shut up.
Well, talk to me. I saw you in the chat saying you feel like jumping in, man. Is something you want to get off your chest?
Nah, man. Nah, I'm just listening to you guys say.
Benji's always good though when you come on here, man, because you give us an insight as a manager.
Hold on a second.
Where you at? That's light.
He's about to get loud, so he wants to go away from the bedroom. You know?
I gotta get outside. Nah, man, the box is just crazy, yo.
It's crazy right now. What's going on, Benji? It's crazy. And we always like to hop on because you give us that insight from a manager perspective.
What I want to ask you, Benji, what do you think it is of Turki Alalshikh and his influence in boxing?
I think he's probably the only thing that can get boxing where it needs to be.
How so?
That's a big statement.
He's got the money, he's got the power, he's got the influence, he's got, the venue, so you see all these promoters going out of their way to work with him.
Wow. Yeah.
Do you think that him and I know this next fight he's having is in
Los Angeles.
is in LA. Do you think his bringing fights to Saudi Arabia, you think that's good or bad for the sport? Neutral? Well, what do you think of that?
I mean, UFC does it, right? They were doing that for a while, and then I, I I don't think I think anything that gets the best guys fighting the best is good for boxing. I think
Good
the
for
worst thing that boxing could have is have these guys picking and choosing, and doing
controlling the
what they
belt,
do. We
controlling the
got
belt.
lucky, like we got really lucky that Ryan and Devin gave the show that they gave.
They delivered. They delivered.
Because
That
if
was an
they didn't
entertaining
deliver,
fight.
people would have gone ape shit. Because Ryan, they delivered, so we can't say anything now. But
You
Ryan
can't
didn't
even say
deserve to
nothing
be in
bad.
there. Ryan didn't deserve to be in there. Ryan didn't do anything to be at that position, and Ryan on the lead up to the fight looked like exactly what everybody thought. Like, why is he getting this opportunity, bro?
But I think
Yeah.
he deserves. I think he deserves this opportunity more than guys like. Come on, you got Rayo fighting for a 140 title, bro.
You don't
Like,
get to go. You don't get to come up. You don't get to come up off a knockout,
that's
move
true.
up a weight class, and fight for a world title, bro.
That's true. A knockout.
Yeah.
But even if you have the influence that he has, I said,
What is the influence, bro? Again, like either this is a sport or it's not, yo.
but he just had a knockout on his last fight. Benji, remember
Who?
Ryan?
Right, right,
Who?
right. Yeah, he
Ryan
knocked
got a
out Oscar
knockout.
Duarte. Oscar
Who?
Duarte.
Okay.
Oscar
Wanda
Duarte.
was undefeated. Wanda
Oh,
was a strong opponent. And you have to understand, though, Benji, and I know it's difficult for us, but when you have the influence that Ryan has to fill up a stadium with 15, that says a lot.
so
That
you
guy
gotta
doesn't play
understand.
for the
I
belt.
think that people need to. Boxing is the only sport on the planet where you see, you know, commentators and sport and the professionals getting involved in the business and like justifying all the terrible moves that boxing does because of the business, right? Like when other like it's like it's like everyone's afraid to call it out, right? Like, yo, whether it made money or not, it doesn't matter, right? Like in UFC, they put the champion fights the next best guy. It doesn't matter if the fifth best guy makes more money. That's not how it works,
Oh,
bro.
wow. I
That's
got you.
not how it works, yo. And you know what they do in the meantime? The number one guy gets built up into something. The number two guy gets built up into something. So
Everybody gets built up.
by the time the fifth show, by the time that fight that everybody wants to see goes goes on, it
You
sells a
don't build
million pay-per-views.
you don't build a bunch of guys already in that process.
You
That
know
makes a
what?
lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
But
A
we're
lot
gonna
of
keep justifying the business and the money and the tickets and like, okay, then like, bro, like it's like it's like I feel like the people in boxing are like battered wives and like have like battered wife syndrome, and they're always justifying like the abuse that their husband gives them, yo. And it's like, okay, like if you want to keep justifying it because of the money or because of the ticket sales or because of the name or because of the influence or because of the power, fine. But understand it's still wrong. It's still wrong, and it's not how a sport is run.
But
ethically
I,
true.
I don't see I
And
don't see
you're
too many
getting
people.
blown out of the water by a sport that does it the right way. And Forbes
Well,
just showed you how badly they're blowing you out of the water.
but
It's
but
Mm.
not even like you can collectively put all of boxing together, multiply it by 3, and UFC is still worth more than you
Is that far
because
apart?
they do things the right way.
It's true.
Sorry if
but
you
they
don't want to
also
hear
they
it.
oh well they also pay fighters less, and they also have a
Bro, that doesn't
control.
that doesn't give you an
Hold on,
$11 billion valuation.
and they also control most of the talent pool. So, well, like the major talent pool. So
They don't. They have just done a spectacular job of convincing the fans that they do. But you know how many champions they've had from other promotional companies come over there and crush it and become champion where they're at? So they just do a spectacular job of giving fans what they want, bro.
So in their sport, who are the other competitors that they have?
That's the thing. Like, and you know what's crazy? When you
I mean,
looked at the top, when you looked at the top guys that Forbes ranked, I think like three of them were MMA companies. I've never heard of any. I never heard of anything except for WWE and UFC, and then all the boxing ones. But like, yo, everybody's crushing boxing, yo, and that's embarrassing, yo. It's embarrassing that a promotional company I've never heard of is crushing our top promoter.
I mean,
you
it,
talking about His Excellency?
No, no, no. The Forbes list.
hold on. I'm pulling it up right now, and
See, I love
so
when Benji comes in with a fresh perspective. Yeah, man, it's a little. As
Too
fans,
okay,
many.
we
There's
always
too
cry.
many people that get
okay.
involved, and like I see a lot of fans do it too. I see like media guys do it, like about like getting involved in the business, and like that's not like in no other sport do people do that, yo.
Yeah. All right. So this is the list of Forbes article that this.
Bro, that's
So
embarrassing, yo.
the number one most valuable combat sport promotion is the UFC. They're worth $11.3 billion. Number two is
WWE.
WWE is $6.8 billion. So literally, it's almost double. UFC is almost double.
Yeah,
Uh,
how does a fake thing has more than us? That's crazy.
Yeah,
What is AEW, bro?
I never even
AEW.
heard about that.
Now AEW is another professional wrestling. It's worth $2 billion. Um, one championship, which is a
Never heard of that.
MMA.
Never
It's
heard of
another,
that.
MMA.
another UFC thing.
Yeah, it's $1.3 billion.
They do their shows in China. Matchroom. Wow.
Matchroom boxing. It's in number five with 850 million.
Wow. I had no clue that they were.
Yeah. PFL, which is another UFC, MMA promotional company, is worth 690 million, which surprises me that it's more than Top Rank or something. Which Top Rank is the second one, which is $60 million left, is worth $630 million.
Top Rank is the biggest. Premier.
And PBC is worth 600 million. So if you were to combine PBC, oh wait, is Golden Boy? We haven't hit Golden Boy yet. Golden Boy number 9 at 450 million. Uh, and is there any other? Nah, I believe that's it with the boxing, right?
I'm
Yeah, there's
happy
only
you brought
three.
this up, man, because this didn't come up my radar, man. This is
Hold on,
actually
let me. I'm gonna pull up my calculator right now. And we're gonna do the math as to what they say boxing is worth, because that's pretty much the biggest promotional companies that in boxing. All right, so it's 450 plus 600.
That's one.
it just makes sense, man. Do you want to be the boss of a $500 million company, or you want to be the boss of an $11 billion company? You
And
both
do you want no? How about this? Do you want to be an employee of a $500 million company? Do you want to be an employee of a $11 billion company?
All right, so
sense,
all
yeah.
right, so according to this article, and I'll stop sharing it now. Uh, boxing, if you added up PBC, Matchroom, Top Rank, and Golden Boy, you added up those four major promotional companies, and if we're being honest, those are the four that are really like, yeah, you
Yeah.
got Frank Warren, you got a few other guys that do good business, but these are the guys that are on the list. So if you was to add all of them up, it's $2.5 billion.
Times it by three. You got to times it by five, and it still doesn't go over.
Yeah, it doesn't go. It doesn't go. It doesn't
I
go.
didn't know it was that
Look,
bad.
Yeah,
look.
it doesn't go over one
When
11.3 billion.
a company that does what you're doing lays out the blueprint of how to do it the right way, and you choose to ignore it, then shame on you, bro.
I think they.
Because
I think it's a different sport,
it's
and the
not, bro.
business
It's
model is
not
different.
like
It
It's
is.
they
It
not,
is.
bro.
stole all of boxing's fans, all of them.
No,
When you look at
the thing is, boxing. We can't. Well, I say we like I own a promotional. A promotional company can't make in boxing can make the PBC champion, the top ranked champion. UFC, there's no sanctioning body, so they make their own champion. So once you leave, your title becomes vacant and somebody else fights
No,
for the
but
UFC title.
firstly, like I was at this I was at the WBA convention where I saw like I told you the big fight happened because some guys like stood up and they want more belts. Like you want more belts, and the WBA is like, okay, it sounds like a good idea. More belts,
That's crazy.
bro. Like it's ridiculous. This is
And the reason they
ridiculous.
have to do that is because they know what they do at the top. At the
No,
top, they
No,
control the
because
but
belt.
they're saying that like the champions, they hold on, they don't have to defend it, and the only way to make money is to have a championship.
It's the truth.
no,
People don't fight mandatories. The WBA doesn't fight mandatories.
You're a
but
promotional
listen to
company.
this.
If you let a sanctioning body come in and run your sport, which they don't run the sport, like the sanctioning bodies are ran by the promotional companies. So we got to pretend like the sanctioning bodies are like this governing body. They're not, yo. They get ran by promotional companies.
Exactly. That's where the
let,
money.
let, let me let me explain the fundamental difference between how boxing is run and how UFC the company is run. So
One's run the
boxing
right
is
way by a businessman, and the other one's run by a bunch of guys trying to get rich and get out.
let me get my point off. So in boxing, right? Let's say Shakur Stevenson, right? He has the WBC belt, and this is actually his last fight coming up under the top rank contract. His contract expires. He decides not to re-sign with top rank and leave. He still stays the WBC champion. So if he goes to Matchroom, he's the WBC champion there. If he goes to PBC, he's the WBC champion there. All right. Now in UFC, in the case of Francis Ngannou, heavyweight champion of the world, his contract expires. He doesn't re-sign with them. They go, all right, you're no longer the UFC champion. And he goes, fights on PFL for no belt. So essentially the promotional company goes, if you want to stay champion, and use our brand with it, which is being the UFC champion, you have to stay here and you have to take what we get. So they kind of monopolize the sport by using their belt as the highest championship in boxing. But once you leave, that you don't have that bargaining chip when you go somewhere else. You
So
take any of these UFC champions and you move them over to PFL or was it One United MMA, and they're not going to be the same. They're not going to get paid the same, and they're not going to be as known because they don't have that belt. So it's a fundamental difference as to how boxing is run.
you got to think that UFC Dana White took over a much more disorganized sport than boxing is right now, and he was able, with a good business mind, to put things together and create an $11 billion business because he thinks like a businessman. He wasn't thinking about getting rich quick. He wasn't thinking about getting his money. He wasn't trying to squeeze all the juice out of the lemon, right? Like, and I think ultimately that's the problem with boxing. There's
Uh,
no, a lot of them, not enough money goes back into the sport. Not enough money goes back into promoting. Not enough money goes into making these guys. You just ride the curtails of the biggest names, and the sport goes the way the names go. Like,
See that I agree. I don't think
that's a
enough is
problem.
invested.
That's a big
and
problem because
if the names are knockout artists and are exciting, then the sport grows. And if when the names aren't, then the sport dies. And then you have this roller coaster because you don't turn anybody into a star. You're reliant on guys who are self promoters and who come with a built-in fan base,
That
and
I
you don't
agree
want to
with.
create
That I agree with.
stars.
And I don't know how long you've been listening to the live, but that I agree with. We were talking about how these guys they don't want to develop a market. We want them
Bro,
to
like
promote
Valenzuela's
Dominican.
fighting Pitbull right now because you're trying to just run with the star that the market that Pitbull has, rather than like, yo, all right, Pitbull has a market, but let's put him in there with the next best guy we got, yo.
No
It doesn't
Mexican.
make sense because it's
The
what Benji
Mexican.
said. You create more stars when you have them fighting the guys that are coming up. If Pitbull would have fought Edwin like it was offered to him, if he would have fought what's the other guy, Michelle
Michelle.
Rivera, those guys would have had more following, more fan
Yeah.
base, and you create more value for the sport overall
And
because
that's
Hmm.
the
you
problem.
guys are fighting each other.
So,
No,
but rather than
and
do
what
that, the
I don't
promoters
like,
want to keep those guys undefeated and keep them with belts.
yeah, and what I don't like, they're just, oh, you Dominican, you're not gonna sell. And they just wipe their hands as opposed to going, all right, one, let's develop the Dominican market, and two, yo, not just Dominicans are boxing fans.
Top
Why
Rank
don't we?
seems to be trying to.
Who?
I mean, Top Rank. I haven't seen them. They're promoting Dominicans to a
Their
wider audience.
entire the June 8th card, almost the whole card is Dominican.
Get out of
No,
here.
no, no, that's not true. That's not true.
Bro, they have like
Uh,
6 Dominican fighters.
who?
Whoa! And the voice of the Dominican boxing didn't
I
notice.
know they got Ali Feliz.
Joel, what's going on here?
Eury
Nah,
Cedeño.
Eury
El
Cedeño.
Eldy Cedeno. I believe he's fighting June 29th.
No, I thought he was fighting the 8th.
Well, he told me June, and then I spoke to somebody else who's another fighter, and he told me that he's fighting June 29th. I haven't spoken to Eldy though. But
I
who
had
else?
to
Who else
send.
besides Eldy?
I had sent like all the names to Elvis. Oh man, it's not on here. Hold on, let me see if it's on here.
I know John Santana's gonna fight June 29th. Roan Polanco is gonna fight June 29th.
Oh, so that's the car he's talking about then.
No, no,
Yeah,
he's
it
talking
was. It
about
was.
June 8th.
But I thought they were all on June 8th. Rohan Polanco and it was
Santana.
Polanco, Ali, Eury, um, there was one more.
Santana, Jan Santana.
Yeah, I think so.
No, no,
Benji,
but
going back to what you were
Jan
saying, but
Santana, Jan Santana, I got confirmation. He's fighting June 29th. So is Roan Polanco. Eldy told me he's fighting in June, but then another fighter, not a promoter, not a manager, another fighter told me that he's also fighting June 29th. So that actually may be a stacked Dominican card uh,
that we need to
in
look out for.
Miami.
Yeah.
In Miami, I unfortunately, I think I worked that day, but I may have to figure out a way how to get there. You know,
Well, they're trying, and like, look, I think the best thing about this guy, what do you call it? What was it?
Uh, Out to
Turkey Alalshikh, Turkey Alalshikh,
Turkey Alalshikh is that he just wants the best to fight the best. He doesn't really care.
and he's
He
not
just
making a profit in none of these.
I don't see him
he
making.
don't care. Those guys, they don't care. They want to be entertained.
No, but I
People,
want to know to how long this is gonna fucking last. Like, how
bro,
long are
those
you
guys
going?
until they get bored of it, and then they'll move
They
on.
throw money away. Those guys have
Yeah.
line Lamborghinis. They have Lamborghinis in the junkyard over there.
Mhm.
Like, yo, boxing's gonna have to learn. It's gonna have to learn,
I'm
and
happy that you're bringing this up, Benji, because it's something that all the fans understand. Like they kind of know is the truth. Yo, we have a
yo,
weird sport where we don't get
people
to see guys fight each other.
people need to stop, and like this goes for media and fans. They need to stop getting involved in the business and justifying terrible decisions, um and justifying why this happens and why this didn't happen. Like, that's not how this works, bro. You got to call it how it is and be like, yo, he should have done this. When LeBron went to Miami, nobody was like, oh, I get why he's going there. Everybody was like, yo, what a dick, yo. He's not Jordan. He should have stayed where he's at. If it was
Yeah.
boxing, everybody would have been like, "Oh, I get why he's going there. He wants to win championship, and that's all that matters, yo." and he's gonna get
Yeah,
more money over there. But it's crazy, yo.
it's
The boxing community is adjusted to what's been done to them.
yeah,
Yeah, they argue like they're the assistant of the fighter,
Look,
like they get a commission.
I think also like there was a level of, I think, knowledge that fans used to have, and the media who controlled what boxing people, what fans would hear had, and I think that that's missing. Like I hear a lot of like boxing media talk and fans talk, and I'm like, yo, like you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro.
why you think too much focus is on the business?
I think it's the business and it's like fanhood and it's like people want to see things people would rather, they want to see things that justify their belief, whether it's right or wrong, right?
Hmm.
And they'd rather convince the world that they're right than actually be right. And like, whereas I think there's like a level of like knowledge that fans and media members have in like baseball and things like that, and football and basketball, and that boxing is just totally missing right now, bro. Everybody says that they know what they're talking about, but when you like really listen, and I think also like people get confused with being able to argue a good point and being right, and like you know when things don't
The
add
thing
up.
is, boxing is more of a business than it is a sport, and the quicker us fans realize that, the quicker we could
Yeah, but business
understand
can be
what
done
we're
right.
watching, basically.
That's what Benji is saying.
Oh, now
Business can be done right.
let me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you back. Sorry, my baby's crying like crazy. I
No,
gotta
no,
say
no. Go
something.
ahead. Yeah, no, no.
All
Go
right,
ahead. Go ahead.
all right.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, Joel. I think me and you spoken about that, man. How if we have some tournaments, or if we have where you can see the real champion raising coming, whether you see the cream of the creme come to the top. But in
Yo, bro.
boxing,
Honestly, boxing is missing tournaments, and I would love Turkey Alalshikh. I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, I would love Turkey Alalshikh to get involved and start making some tournaments. I remember the Super Six series, how that produced, Andre Ward. He didn't become a superstar, but he became
came a name,
he got a name off that.
and we always looking forward to seeing the next fight because we knew we were getting the best of the best.
And it was like a playoff, type feel. If you
Who
beat
was
this
behind
guy,
that, Joel?
Showtime. It was Showtime. And they worked with like four different promoters. At one point, one of the fighters changed promoters and he still stood in the tournament. It was
Just to
like
stay in the tournament, probably, right?
it was such a structured situation. And I feel
And
like
if someone got injured, they bring somebody else in, boom, to replace them.
that's what's missing in boxing tournaments. I feel like if we did more tournaments,
Joel,
boxing,
that's how you tell who's really the champion.
yeah.
That's what you
Overtime
tell.
boxing. Overtime boxing has a tournament going
Over,
on.
I
Yes,
told
they
you
do.
about them.
No,
Overtime.
no, I know. And then they don't do draws too. If it's a draw, you got to fight an extra round. I love that
That's
shit.
like the zone showbox. That's the zone showbox. Next generation, literally. Like
That's a good way of putting it. That's a good way of putting
I'm
it.
learning a lot about the zone now that I'm and look at it. I'm getting interested about the zone because they're signing guys,
Mhm.
and I know they want to keep them active. So, man, yeah, something has to be done, man, with our sport, man, because it's a beautiful sport.
Well, Turkey a la Sheik may be the one saving us.
Maybe the one, maybe the one. Like once I got that big like that with the Devin Haney and Garcia. Once I got that big fight at Venfield, you just want to see it more, man. You
Don't
just want to
worry.
see it
I
more.
mean, I mean, we gonna get that big fight feel when Turkey a la Sheik does that card. August 3rd, I believe was the date. With that, when you got
Crazy.
six, seven fights that you want to see
That's a
with,
crazy card.
with Terrence Crawford in the main event, shit. I'm excited for this fight. I'm excited for this card. I mean, and it's been a while since I said that. Like, no, I'm not excited for the fight. I'm excited for the card.
Yeah, I'm excited for that card. I'm a little heartbroken though, man, because I want to see my guys fight too, man. Like not having none of my guys fight, man. It's like I remember last year. It's we were fighting every week.
Yo, bro, and I speak to some of these guys. Like I spoke to one of them today over the phone, man, and his heart was broken, man. He's like, bro, Broadway, I'm in the gym, I'm training hard, I'm away from my family, I'm away from my son, and they keep telling me, yo, you fighting this date, you fighting that date, you fighting this date. He goes, yo, if I'm thinking of just going on the vacation and because I've been 4 months away from my family, away from my kid, away from, and I'm just like, damn, bro, breaks my heart to hear shit like that. And a lot of people don't understand the sacrifice that these fighters go through and how the inactivity not only affects them, but also affects their family.
And these are guys that are from the Dominican Republic that, if you think about it, just them staying active and getting a $20,000-$30,000 fight, that's good money for them. That they can send home and build their little house back home. They're not even getting that right now.
It's unfortunate.
A lot of them are working right now. Under the table jobs, waiting at tables, selling cars, doing whatever they can just to,
Yep.
It's unfortunate. And if we had a system where fighters will fight each other, top to 10, top to 15, yeah, boxing has to get it together, bro.
For sure. But yo, we've been live hour and 50 minutes. It's almost 11 o'clock. It was good live for sure.
Great, man.
I'm starting to get a little sleepy.
We work. You know how it goes.
Yo, but I appreciate you hopping on for sure. Yo, everybody watching this, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Go to BroadwayJoel.com if you want a Dominican boxing shirt.
Get those shirts, man.
And man,
Joel, I'm gonna holler at you in the next live.
Nah, for sure, man. Until next time, guys. Peace.